Welcome, everyone. And it's wonderful to have you all joined us today for the first in our series of the tastemakers of peacemaking. Today's program is hosted by Abrahamic Reunion. The Abrahamic Reunion was started some 20 years ago, and we are committed to the promotion of love, peace, communication, cooperation, and dialogue among all the people of the Holy Land, including Muslims, Druze, Christians, Jews, men, women, as well as all other spiritual traditions. My name is Michael Macy, and I'm one of the trustees of the Abrahamic Reunion. This is the first of a series of 3 programs, which we hope will provide you with a taste of peacemaking, a brief experience into the lives of those people who have committed themselves to the making of peace. Today's session will be the presentation by the men who are making peace. Our next session will be the women peacemakers, and our third session will be the young peacemakers. These are all people who are deeply committed and who are in the midst of the opening of what we hope will be a new period of peace in the Holy Land. If you have questions or comments, please make note of the chat button at the bottom of your screen. You can go there and type out your questions and present them. And at the end of the presentations, questions will be presented. I would now like to turn over today's program to Sheikh Ghassan Manasra, who is the best person to provide you with a real taste of peacemaking, not only in the Middle East, but throughout the world. Sheikh Ghassan is a teacher, a guide, an inspiration, and the director of international programs for the Abrahamic Reunion. He's also a friend, and there is no one who could give you a better taste of peacemaking. Sheikh Ghassan.
Thank you, Michael. And really, it's my pleasure to be with you today. This early noon, or this evening of the Middle East. Thanks, Michael. You are a great person also. I learned from you a lot along our connection. And also, I would like to thank Chris Miller for his preparing, for his great work in this first meeting of the series of 3 meetings. And also I would like to thank Arbib Manasra, the Israeli director of Abrahamic Reunion, and Mohammed Jamous, the Palestinian director of Abrahamic Reunion, and all of our people of the Abrahamic Reunion all around the world. And welcome to Malcolm from East Jerusalem. He is the translator. His English is great, and his Arabic is great, and he's a great person. He's a peacemaker. Also, he was with us in many, many places. And I would like to welcome the great peacemakers, the great speakers today that we worked together for a long time. Since I remember myself, since I raised up and I began to be a young person, we gathered together to create a different kind of future, different kind of peace, different kind of love. And since the beginning, we say we don't need only to meet. We need to understand, we need to connect, we need to create many things to bring the people to be together. And the most important thing is to taste our peacemaking, to taste our process, to taste our path. This is the way that we need to do. we have here one of the greatest rabbis in the world, not only in Israel, Rabbi Roberto Arbib. He is a great rabbi. And also with us, we have Father Firas from Zababde next to Jenin. He is a great priest, he peaceful person. And also we have Dr. Imam Khalid Abu Ras, one of the greatest imams and doctors, I hope, inshallah, in the world. We connected since he was a young person. And also we have with us Father Sheikh Ghassan Manasra. He is a great Druze Sheikh with us. Welcome to all of you for this great meeting to talk to the people and to share with the people, to connect with all the people all around the world. We will have many people with us today, and we are so happy to have them to gather and to be with us and to hear and to listen. And they, in the end, I'm sure they will taste your taste about the peacemaking in the Holy Land. Before we began to work, usually in any meeting, in any work that we did in the past, we said to the people, give us yourself. We will give you ourselves. Give us your heart. We'll give you our hearts. Because the peace is not, it comes to say, a rational process, is not mechanical process. The peace is emotional, rational, a love process. The love is the highest title of our making peace. In the beginning, I would like to say to my friends, Khalid, you can talk in Arabic if it's so hard for you. Malcolm will translate you, but please, not more than 2 sentences, for to allow him to translate you. Each speaker, he has 12 minutes. Maybe we can give more 2 minutes, but 12 minutes, to express his taste, his experience, and also don't forget to put the great spice. It's called the stories. To give a small and short story about your work in peace. You can answer in any way, but give short story in the end. We will begin with Rabbi Roberto Arbib. Roberto Arbib is the educational director of Neve Shechter and rabbi of its synagogue. He holds a BA in philosophy and Jewish thought from the Hebrew University and rabbinic ordination from Shechter. Since his ordination as a Masorti rabbi, Rabbi Arbib has served in numerous positions. Rabbi at Kihilat Sinai, founder of Midrashet Iyun for adult education. Tali School Rabbi, co-founder of Derech Abraham Interfaith Group and facilitator in Bibliodrama. He made Aliyah in 1959 from Italy. Rabbi Roberto Arbib, it's you because we work together. It's you because we work together. I know you more than 25 years and we began to work together. We began as youngs and today we are full of experience and taste. I have questions to all of you, but the first question is, how did find yourself called to this work of making peace? How is your faith part of your peacemaking? Did your faith give you a motivation and power to jump to the ocean of connection and understanding and peace? Rabbi Roberto, please.
Thank you very much, Sheikh Manasra and my brothers and all the friends that are attending this amazing gathering that is in the world, that in this pandemic, that could be also a good thing that can bridge people around the world, even if only in the internet, but still is something amazing that can connect people from different region of the world and in different time also. This is, we are like Einstein say that the time is relative, but also the geography is relative. Is like the heart that God gives to us, that is always in fluid and changing to connect people one to another. I'm very happy to participate in this gathering. And since there, I remember myself when I study that my aim of faith, it was to connect people to the one God, and with no difference of color, religion, or language. This is what I studied with my grandfather, that was a rabbi in Rome, that I always received from him the Torah. And I remember that in his salon, in his house, he was hosted also a meeting with was in Rome, of course, Christians and the Jew and all other people, to studying together and to meeting together with no distinction, with respect, with, of course, the distinction, but with a lot of respect and love for the same God that created all the humankind. And I became a rabbi, a conservative rabbi in 91. I come in Tel Aviv, and I opened a congregation here in the center of Tel Aviv. That was, in those times, was a completely and I would say the desert about the religions, not only a Jew, but every religion, because it was completely secular place with the sea, the beach. And I saw with my eyes in the last 20, 25 here, the tremendous changing of the people. They are more interested in connected with the spirituality and the searching from a new kind of approach to God. So this is something new that today in Tel Aviv, there are a lot of places that we can start study Torah, but not only in different way, in different streams. It will be Orthodox, conservative, reform, in a secular way, but also because I live in a specially area, it's called Neve Tzedek, it's in the border of Jaffa. So there is also a great opportunity to meet our friend Arabs that live together and in the same neighbors with us. And for me, it was a fantastic opportunity to create a center here in Neve Tzedek where the people from different faith can be gathering together. Yes.
Roberto, I would like to ask you a very great questions and to pass, because our time is not so fat today. But I heard you sent a very important thing about the Ushpizin this year in your synagogue. You know, every day in the Sukkot holiday, you invite Abraham, Jacob, and so on. And you said we need the last day to invite Prophet Muhammad.
Exactly, and also Jesus too.
and Jesus, you know.
Yes.
Look, it's a great interview. Thank you, Rabbi Roberto, for this introduction. It's so beautiful. We hear a bit about your story, and it's very important to give us some stories soon. But the same question I would like to pass to Abouna Firas. Abouna Firas, Father Firas, Diab is the pastor of St. George, Malkite Greek Catholic Church in Zababde, in Palestine village, in the Northwest Bank. It's next to Jenin, and is the grandson of St. George, a previous pastor. He has degrees in philosophy and theology, and is often actively building connection there with Western churches or for solidarity within the Palestinian nations. He is a very active peacemaker with Abrahamic Reunion and has been part of many events, including as a leader in the multi-faith peace march in Bethlehem in 2019. Father Firas, did you hear that question or to repeat it?
No, thank you. Thank you very much. You can hear me?
Yes, yes, we hear you. Please.
Thank you. It's an honor and a privilege to be with you tonight. As an activist and as a friend of Abrahamic Reunion. Our work is to be men of God, to guide our people for peace and reconciliation. And this is a ministry I worked for the last 20 years. Since I rebuilt my church here in Zababdi, my church was closed in 1982 because of the because my church belonged to Israel and it is in Palestine. So we are Palestinians and we have a church here in Palestine for the Palestinians, but my church belonged to Israel, belonged to Haifa. So I belong to the bishop who is living in Haifa, and my story is the same story of the conflict on the ground here. So my church was closed 1982. The first Intifada was very bad because there was a violence, and in second Intifada 2002 it was also violence. In 2002, 14 December 2002, I was ordained and I want to rebuild my church. So I asked a favor from my friends to rebuild my church. A young people from Zababdi who come to help me to rebuild my church. These young people were Muslims and Christians. They helped me to rebuild the church and to renew it so it becomes a house of God for everyone. So from the beginning, I rebuilt the church not to be exclusive for the Christians, but to be for everyone who wants to worship God. And why is that? Because in God's eyes, there is no Muslim or Christian or Jewish. We are all a human being, and we are all invited to worship God in any way we want it. And in this meaning, my church, the Milkai Church, we are an Eastern church. We have a very long history of working together with the Muslims from the beginning, from the 6th century. So my grandfathers, this is very nice.
I would like to ask you a question. It's so beautiful to hear the voice of the Quran of the mosque next to your house.
Yes.
And
yes, it's very.
Before we pass to the next question, I would like to ask you a question. You remember a small story when we came to visit you in your church? You remember? And as Abrahamic Reunion, and we had a bus from Jerusalem, Muslims and Christians and so on. And among us, we had some Jews, if you remember. But it was so beautiful to come there. And the people wanted to pray. And I remember they wanted to go outside. You say, no, this is the house of God. Come to pray here. And the Muslims prayed in the church. and you began to pray.
Yes.
You know, next to them, it was so great a moment for all of us. I remember I prayed and I cried. My mama and Muhammad the same, and Abed, and you know, it was so emotional time with all of us. Now,
before I forget, or
yes.
you ask me to end, you want to ask me to end, but before you ask me to end,
yes,
I want to mention a story when my church was closed, and we need to rebuild it. 5 young Muslim friends of mine, they were policemen.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Intifada. They asked me to give them the key of the church because they want to use it for their prayer, and the house of the church, they won't use it for to live in. So I remember I give them the key of the church. They use it for 5 years. They use the church for 5 years to pray, and they live in the house of the church for 5 years to because they are far away from their families, from Hebron, from Bethlehem, from so they use the church and the house of the church for 5 years. The second thing I want to tell you, the mosque is next to my church. So if you come to my church and you look on the top of the church, you can see the cross with the menorah. And I took a picture with the cross and the menorah to be a simple and rams for my ministry. So this is our life here in Palestine. This is our life, and this is the way we are thinking, that we are all a human being, and we have the same God we worship.
We will come back to you again for the second and third questions, but I want to say something. Look at this enlivened example of connection in Palestine, the mosque next to the church, and we're hearing now the Quran from the mosque in the church, and we can hear the bell in the mosque from the church. So beautiful. God bless you. Thank you, Father. And
very beautiful.
Now I will come back to ask you the second question and the third, but now we will go to Dr. Sheikh Khalid Abu Ras. Sheikh Khalid Abu Ras serves as Imam of Imam Mosque at Kfar Elut, Nazareth since 2005. He has worked in interfaith dialogue and relations for decades in the Holy Land with Yakar and Yesodot in Jerusalem. Hebrew University as a co-founder and co-director of Anwar el-Salam, Lights of Peace Society in Nazareth, and in many programs with the Abrahamic Reunion. Hosting the 2017 Multi-Faith Iftar Dinner, he teaches Arabic language and literature formally at Beit Safafa High School and in Elut now, Kfar Elut now, and currently at Kfar Elut Secondary School. Imam and Dr. Khalid, he is one of the greatest Muslim peacemakers in the Holy Land and in the world. It's my a privilege and my honor to invite him to talk about the first question. And don't forget, in 2 sentences, because we will allow Malcolm to translate to English. Please, Khalid, Dr. Khalid.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى جميع الأنبياء والمرسلين أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. في هذه
شيخ خالد
تفضل.
In the name of the most compassionate, merciful God, and peace be upon all the prophets, and I say peace be upon you all. تفضل.
في هذه الدقائق القليلة سأتحدث عن تجربتي في الحوار وتجربة شخصية في محاولة غرس بذرة السلام في أرض السلام.
In those few moments, I'll try to speak about my experience about peace and the sowing of seed peace and the seeds of peace in this holy land.
كان ذلك قبل عام 2000 بقليل، عندما التقيت مع الدكتور أبراهام القيام. في ذلك الوقت كان دكتور، اليوم هو بروفيسور، والراف روبرتو أربيب.
It was before the year 2000 when I met with Professor Abraham and Dr. Arbib. مظبوط عم بحكي الاسم؟
روبرتو أربيب، الراف روبرتو أربيب. وسألني الدكتور أبراهام القيام أين يمكن أن نتعلم التصوف، فقلت لهم يمكنكم ذلك في بيت شيخي الشيخ عبد السلام مناصرة، والد الشيخ غسان مناصرة.
And I was asked by Dr. Abraham, how can I learn about Sufism? And I told him by the house and by Sheikh Ghassan Manasra.
ومنذ ذلك الوقت بدأت في البلاد حركة مثيرة، حركة مهمة جدا، حركة دعوني أقول إنها حركة لا نظير لها في العالم. هي حركة ديرخ أبراهام، الطريقة الإبراهيمية.
And since that time, an amazing movement started that has no similar, like nothing is similar to it in the world, which is called the Abraham's movement, or Abraham's path.
وهذه الحركة جددت النشاط الحواري بين أبناء الديانات، ليس فقط بين الديانة الإسلامية والديانة اليهودية، بل بين كل أبناء الديانات السماوية وغير السماوية في بلادنا، في البلاد المقدسة.
And this movement has renewed the dialogue not only between Muslims and Jews, but among all religions in our land.
ولماذا أقول جددت؟ ذلك أن اللقاء بين أبناء الديانات لم يكن مقتصرا أو مقصورا أو قصرا على بلادنا في هذا الوقت، بل كان قبل أكثر من 1000 عام في الأندلس، عندما التقى عظام كبار الديانات هناك، ابن رشد والرمبام وكثير من الفلاسفة وعلماء الدين، وأجروا الحوار المثري والعميق لأبناء الديانات.
And I say this, that meeting between different religions was not only to be in this land, because historically in Spain or Andalus 1,000 years ago around or so, the other religions and all religions met together for dialogue.
جميع المؤمنين بالله الواحد يدعون دائما إلى حب إلى محبة الله الواحد. وفي هذا اللقاء بين الديانات كان يقع دائما التركيز على قضية مهمة جدا، ألا وهي قضية محبة الإنسان.
And in those meetings of all those religions who believe in the one God, they usually call for the love of the unified one God, and that's what the most important thing.
لأن الإنسان كما جاء في الإسلام هو بناء الله، هو الشيء الوحيد الذي خلقه الله بيديه ونفخ فيه من روحه وأمر الملائكة أن يسجدوا له.
And because man, I forgot to say that it's also those religions always call for the love of mankind, and man in particular was created in a very special way by the hand of God, the breath of God and the spirit of God to represent. عفوا كمان مرة شيخ آخر إشي.
وأمر الملائكة أن يسجدوا له.
And he asked the angels to bow down to man according to Islam.
ودعت هذه الحركة، حركة ديرخ أبراهام، الطريقة الإبراهيمية، دعت إلى نبذ العنف، ودعت إلى احترام الآخر، ودعت إلى السلام بكل ما تحمله هذه الكلمة من معنى.
And this movement of path of Abraham has asked to refrain from violence, to reject violence and embrace peace. وآخر إشي عفوا كمان مرة.
ودعت إلى إحلال السلام بكل معنى هذه الكلمة.
And to spread peace by ultimate peace by the meaning of all of this word.
نعم. أخي خالد, I want to say that it was so great, really beautiful introduction. Next time, if you would like, the next question, if you would like to add some a small short story about this, it will be okay. Okay, we will ask the second question. You know, we heard from the first question lots of material. It's very important to know and to feel and to taste the experience, the work, the movement, the deed of these peacemakers. I want to use something. It's not so easy to work in this path in the Holy Land. It's not easy. It's lots of challenges in the way, on the path. Lots of Jews, they blame them as they began to be Muslims, and lots of Muslims, the Muslims blame them that they saw selling their religion, and Christians from the other side, and Druze. But they are, I think, knights, the knights of peace, the braves of peace. Now, for the second question, I'd like to ask you, how do you avoid creating conflict? How do you avoid creating conflict every day in everyday life? And in the end, if you will share with us a small story. You know, lots of conflicts in our path, in our way, but how we can avoid polarization, avoid conflict, avoid all of these things try to stop us from our work. How can you avoid this? Please, Rabbi Roberto.
Yes, I want to share with you a very interesting program that we have once a year with my friends Sheikh Diab from Jaffa and his wife, that we organize together in the My Center in Vetzedek, a gathering commemorate Jalaluddin Rumi. It's happened in January and December, and we organize a meeting with something like 400 people, musicians from the Palestine, Israel, Jewish and Muslim together. And what is very interesting, also the chef from the Al-Aqsa is participate with us, and not one time, more than 2 or 3 times again. And when I say to people, you know, that there is here a chef from Al-Aqsa in Tel Aviv, people can, it's not possible. And then you look, there is also a car with a Palestine number. Yeah. And I take a photo here in Tel Aviv. So that can really something amazing. And we share the music together, and we commemorate, of course, the great thinker and Sufi Jalaluddin Rumi. But at the end, we make a pray for peace together, all the people together, in the way that of the in Hebrew and in Arabic, and so that's something that's very touching people and gathering a lot of people, and this is something really special that that's happened here in Tel Aviv, because this friendship, good friendship, that also I'm participate in their Tarika in Jaffa several times, that we host Ihab and Ora, his wife, a lot of gathering with the interface. So we connect together. I invite him, he invite me. So, and we also call people from school and teacher to participate and to share our friendship with the Sheikh, and to say what we are going to do together. It's something for our normal, but for people that hear for the first time, that's something not usual completely, because to meet Jewish and Muslim, especially the Rabbi and the Sheikh, it's not something that you see every day in life.
First of all, it's a very beautiful story, you know, to tell the people how it's can bring people from Palestine. It's not easy to pass the border from Palestine to Israel with a car, with a Palestinian car. It's not easy. to see Palestinian car in Tel Aviv. Oh wow, it's great, and it's happened in his congregation, in his synagogue. You know, in Rabbi Roberto Arbib synagogue. And I would like to add a small story. I remember about 16 years ago when we had a very big group of Jews came to Nazareth, to our neighborhood, if you remember, and we built a new mosque there. It's a spiritual mosque, a Kadura family, you know, and we had a time of our prayer, evening prayer, and we began to pray. Suddenly, we heard another prayer next to us in the other hall, and we say, "What is the genies praying with us here?" And we remember that the Jews hold a very, very holy prayer. We prayed together, and when I was praying, my tears began to appear here, and all of my body shocking from love and connection. And when we finished, I remember I came to Roberto, hugged him. I said, "Thanks for initiating and holding this prayer with us together." It's the sign that we belong to the same tent, the tent of Abraham, and to the same God.
Exactly.
Thank you, Rabbi Roberto. And the same question to Khalid. Khalid, the same question. You remember the question? How to avoid the conflict from your daily life, or the polarization, or something, the conflict from our way? How to do it? What is calling you from within you, from your path, from your religion or spiritual path? Please, Imam Khalid. Khalid, we cannot hear you.
شكرا شيخ غسان. سأتحدث ربما مرة أخرى نظريا، ولكن بشيء من الأمور الشخصية.
I'll speak again in theory, but I'll also share something personal.
أعتقد أن الأسلوب الأمثل أو الأسلوب الأفضل لدفع الحوار ودفع السلام هو التربية.
I believe that the better and more ideal way to promote dialogue is parenting.
التربية التي تبدأ من البيت، تبدأ من العائلة، تبدأ من الأسرة المصغرة، من الأب والأم.
Parenting that starts from the house, from the small family, from the father and mother.
حيث يجب أن يكون هناك دائما معنى وقيمة الحوار في البيت، معنى وقيمة نعم.
Where there always should be the value of dialogue being highlighted in the house.
وليس فقط الحوار وإنما الحب.
Not only dialogue but love.
يعني ما هو البيت؟ ما قيمة البيت؟ ما قيمة أن يكون الإنسان أبا وأنا أب ل4 أطفال، وهذا الأب لا يقبل أبنائه على الأقل مرة واحدة كل يوم.
What is the value of being a father at home in a family, and a father who does not even kiss his children once a day? I have 4 children myself.
أنا أب ل4 أطفال. مرة أخرى أنا أقول، وأنا أشعر كل مرة عندما أقبل أطفالي بعظمة الأبوة.
I am a father of 4 children, again I say, and I feel greatness of being a father when I'm kissing one of my children.
وعندما أعانقهم.
And when I hug them.
لذلك التربية التي من شأنها أن تبدأ من البيت، أن أقول لابني أن هذا الإنسان سواء كان مسلما أو يهوديا أو مسيحيا أو درزيا أو بوذيا أو أي إنسان، هو خلق من خلق الله.
So parenting is the foundation of our values, where it sets the ground for healthy understanding and acceptance of those who are either Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Christian, or anybody from the creation of God.
وعندما يراني ابني أتعامل مع هذا الإنسان على أنه إنسان، أنا سأكون قدوة له.
And when my son sees me dealing with a person as he is a human, I will become a model to my son.
أولادي الآن أولادي في عيلوط في قرب الناصرة، لا يتعلمون في القرية، وإنما يتعلمون في الناصرة في مدرسة أهلية مسيحية.
Now, my children in Nazareth, they're not learning in village, as in schooling, they're actually learning in a Christian high school in Nazareth.
لأنني أؤمن أنني إذا أردت أن يكون للسلام فرصة أن أبدأ هذا الشيء من البيت، أن أجعل أولادي يتعلمون مع أولاد آخرين، ليس فقط أولاد مسلمين بل أولاد مسيحيين، وبالفعل نعم.
Because I believe if I want to promote peace, bring about an opportunity for true peace, I need to let my children be exposed to others, in this case Christians and not only Muslims.
أعتقد أننا بهذه الطريقة بالتربية التي تبدأ من البيت وتمتد إلى الحي ثم إلى المدرسة أو المسجد أو الكنيسة أو الكنيس، إذا كانت هذه التربية تقوم على محبة الآخرين، عندها سيكون للسلام فرصة كبيرة.
I believe this healthy perspective of parenting, if it starts from the house and then spreads to the synagogue, church, mosque, etc., then this is gonna build what is really uncalled for, the foundation of loving one another and loving others and bring about peace.
أشكركم على حسن إصغائكم.
Thank you for listening to me.
شكرا يا خالد. Thank you, Khalid, and it's really a very deep comment and very deep sharing about the peace, how to raise and how to create peace from the first point of our life, from the house, from the parents and the children. The connection between us, we can be the mirror of our society. If we will begin it within our family, it can arrive to the others all around the world and in our neighborhood, in our city, and so on. Thank you, Khalid. Abouna, Firas, did you hear the question, or you need me to repeat it to you?
No, please repeat it.
Yes. How can you avoid all of the conflicts in your daily life, in your in your life, in your society? How to avoid the conflict, polarizations, and challenges? How to avoid this from your way in your daily life, please?
Thank you.
Sure.
I'm a priest, and I have ministry in Zababdi and Nablus, and I have to attend the priest meeting in Haifa, and I pass the border. When I have a permit, I can leave to Israel, to Haifa, to attend the priest meeting because I am one of the priests there. And I pass the border. The border is siege, cement, and security zone. And tens of elder women, children pass the border. Some young people are leaving to work in the farmland in Israel. Some are doctors going to the hospitals. The elder are going to the hospitals in Nazareth. And everyone squeeze like, and the security is not interesting and working very slowly. And I look to this crowd, I'm between this crowd, and I'm asking, looking to the heaven, looking to the sky, and I'm asking, where were you, God? I'm not examining the existence of God. I believe in him, but I'm asking, where were you, God, from what's going on the Holy Land? Our ministry Christians, Muslims, and Jews should be worship God and tell the people where is God, and to show that these people who are suffering from the hatred, from the non-existence of God in their life, these people needs to find God. And I'm sure I found the answer of my question. God is with us. God is in our ministry.
Thank you.
And as a Christian, as a Muslim, as a Jew.
Thank you.
And we can find God when we can challenge the hatred, we can challenge the evil, we can challenge the suffering in the people's daily life. Last week, a doctor comes back from visiting his relatives in Israel. He was passing Barta border when the security shoot a gas bomb and voice bomb around him, and he had a heart attack and he died. That's hurt me very much when I'm seeing the evil and the hatred control our life. At the same place, the bishop sent me a letter, and I travel to Barta'a checkpoint, and I stand at the same place where the doctor was died, and the security asked me to go, to leave. And when the taxi driver arrived, we were far away from each other, 5 meters. The security did not let the taxi driver to give me the envelope. The bishop sent it to me. So my ministry in Zababdi to find God in the lives of the people and to show the people where is their God, because in the Holy Bible it says that your enemy ask you where is your God. So we have no enemies, we are all human beings.
Right.
But we want to the people, our people, the Christians, the Muslims, and especially the Jewish, where is God?
Great.
That's why I'm dreaming in my ministry here in Zababdi to build a school, to bring the Christians, the Muslims, and the Jewish together, and to teach them where is God in their life.
Great.
Since then,
Father
they
Firas.
will discover that they are no more enemies, but children of God.
Father Firas, yeah, it's a great answer. Really, it's a great answer. Thank you. We will go to the next question now. But I want to say something. It's very important. Like we met with many people, and we had many programs in our life. You know that to avoid these things, the challenges and the conflict on our life. It's need to avoid it from within us, from our hearts. We need to throw it outside, to clean our side. You know, it's very important to do this because as we were in our gathering or our meetings and our projects, and we came back to our houses, we look at the news, we found a very bad conflict, and directly we began to be very, upset and so on and so on. The most important thing is how to teach yourself to be quiet and to pass away, to go beyond all of this conflict, to create a new connection. Thank you, Father Firas. Now, second question. You know, we are in a very special time. the time of a pandemic. It's all the world know this. It's not so easy. It's a bad and challenging time. We need to avoid also this pandemic from our life. During this time, how can we? And we know that our meetings through the Zoom and teachings, as Rabbi Roberto say, the teachings and the lectures through the Zoom, how to create peace, how to continue our work, our circle connecting in peace, how to bring the people to this peace. I know it's also a new point of challenging to create the peace for the future. We will not stop. As we say, I say this 30 years ago, we will not stop. We will continue. How to create peace in this condition? It's a different condition. It's a pandemic. It's a chaos in the world. But what is our rule? What is our, come to say, strength to do the peace? Rabbi Roberto Arbib, please. The voice, the...
Yes, thank you, Sheikh Ghassan. Yes, indeed, we are in very challenging situation that all over the world are closing in their house and afraid of what's the people that they love could happen, could become malad and died. So I think that we can, as a Sufi, as a Jew, I say that we have to start about the sign that God sent to us in the nature. And this is a tremendous sign. It's not a sign that you can see it. It's very clear, the signs that the first thing that we have to say, stop. To stop and to think. So this Shabbat will start again to reading the Genesis. You know, we finished the reading of the Torah last Shabbat. We have a festival of Simchat Torah, and now we start again Genesis. But it's the whole book of the creation, but we read it every year. But in the spiritual way, we have to understand that every year, every moment is something new. And especially in those times, we have to stop because we are inside ourselves, inside our family. We cannot go outside. I can see my family, and people cannot visiting their beloved family because they are close, and it's dangerous to meet them. So I say that it's not the willing to continue to keep on in the same way is not the way. We have to stop first and to think of a new initiation, new Genesis, to say to what we done in the past is something that should teach to us to change our way in order to create a new world with more respect, with more solidarity, and not only the money and the capitalism that increase, and not only the market is the law of this war. God created this war in order to create a respect to the nature, to respect to the humankind. So we have to stop and to say what it was in the past is not to be again. We have to change everyone in his own way, to create more solidarity, more love, more openly, and to take aside the fear. And even if there is a lot of reason to be afraid about the economic situation, not only a medical situation, but also economic crisis in the world that should bring us to change our preference of life. What we before choose as the preference of our life should completely changing, and in order to be more connected and open with the world. This is what I think.
Thank you. It's really it's kind of taste to change our life, to change our deed, to change our behavior for to connect to one to another. It's a great value in our life. I would like to thank you about this. Thank you, Rabbi Roberto. As usual, we hear from you all the time, lots of wisdom, and this is a philosophy of wisdom. Thank you. I will pass now to Abouna Firas, and I will ask really any short, because our time began to be very, very short. Any short, would you like me to repeat the question, Abouna Firas?
Again, please. I did not catch you.
The question is, in this time, in this pandemic, special time and pandemic time, how can we create meetings? How can we create peace? How can we create understanding, love, and connection? Especially that we cannot meet face to face. We need to meet by the Zoom or other things. But any short, please. Yeah, please.
Yes, I'm living what you are saying exactly. I pray Sunday liturgy with few. They are 5, 6, 7 people in the church. And the normal Sundays, we are praying 200, 300 people in the church. But now, because of the virus, we are praying few people in the church. And maybe that message from God. I have a joke for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, it's a real story. The Bishop Joseph Raya in Haifa want to protest against some decision of the government. I don't remember. So he asked the priest to close the churches, all the churches in Galilee. And the priest asks him, what we are telling the people, how we can close the church? He tell them, well, let's close the church and ask God to do the work. So maybe this time it's time of personal prayer to God to take an act. We all the time praying with loud voice. The Muslims, the Christians, the Jewish, we love the loudspeaker and so God used to hear us from the heaven praying for him. So maybe if we silent this time, so may God look down to find why we are stop praying, so he maybe acts.
Right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's so beautiful story. Really, it can teach us how to create a very soft things during serious things. It's a funny thing during serious things. Thank you. Really, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
Sheikh Dr. Khalid, what do you say about this question?
نعم، نحن نعيش في هذه الآونة يعني أزمة لم يكن لها نظير في في الزمن المعاصر.
أيوة، ما كانش ضابط، سوري، كان في مشكلة.
نحن نعيش في هذه الأيام، في الشهور 8 أو 9 التي خلت، نعيش أزمة لم يعرفها العالم في الزمن المعاصر.
We've been living such a pandemic that the world never knew in the last century.
في تفشي هذا الوباء الخطير، وباء كورونا.
And the spread of this dangerous epidemic that has been spreading.
وهذا الشيء ربما يجعلنا نتفكر في ما هي أو ما هو معنى الحياة.
And maybe this makes us think or rethink about the meaning of life.
النتيجة التي أخلص إليها دائما هي أننا بشر.
And the outcome that I always come into is that we are human.
وأننا في يوم من الأيام سنرحل عن هذا العالم.
And that one day we will leave this world.
وما يجب على كل إنسان أن يفعله هو كيف هو واحد من أمرين.
And what shall each and every human being do is one of two things.
الأمر الأول كيف ألاقي الله عز وجل.
First thing, how do I meet with God the Almighty
بعد الموت.
after death?
والأمر الثاني ما هو الأثر الذي أتركه في هذا العالم.
Second, what has been the influence that I left in this world?
هل أترك في هذا العالم سلام، حب، أشياء طيبة، أشياء يقول أشياء تجعل حياة الناس أحسن؟
Did I leave or do I leave the influence of love, peace, and things that have done great things towards the lives of people?
أنا سأنهي سأنهي كلمتي بقصة قصيرة، يعني دائما أرويها لطلابي عن.
I'll finish my.
نعم.
I'll finish my sharing through a short story that I always share to my students.
القصة هي أن سيدنا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
The story is that Messenger Muhammad, may peace be upon him,
يروي لنا قصة رجل وجد غصنا في الطريق.
He speaks to us about a man who found a branch in the way, on the road.
وهذا الغصن يضايق الناس.
And this branch has been disturbing people.
ماذا فعل هذا الرجل؟ جاء فأزاله.
And what did this man do? He came and removed it.
القصة قصيرة جدا. ماذا كانت النتيجة؟ شكر
الله. This is a very short story. And what is the value of it?
شكر الله له ذلك وأدخله الجنة.
And God appreciated him for this, and He took him to heaven.
هذا هو ما أود أن أوصله لحضراتكم. ماذا ينبغي عليك إنسان أن أفعل في هذا العالم، وكيف ألاقي الله عندما أموت.
This is what I want to simply communicate to you. What shall I do in this world until I meet with God, or in order to meet with God?
أشكرك يا ملكون وأشكر جميع المستمعين.
شكرا يا خالد.
Thank you Malcolm, and thank you everybody.
لدينا وقت. Wait with us. We have more questions, but I would like, before we will receive questions from the participants here with us, I would like to ask each one of you in 1 minute or 1 minute and a half. I'll give you 2 minutes, don't worry. in 1 minute to 2 minutes, to share with us his emotional and rational side together, combined, or his taste of this process along his work for years upon years. I would like to hear from you the last words about your experience in 1 to 2 minutes. If you can share us your taste, your feeling, your emotional side, rational side, but add the taste in 2 minutes and what you would like to tell the people about your work. Okay? 1 to 2 minutes. Please, Rabbi Roberto, please.
Not sure that I understand exactly, but
מה אתה רוצה להגיד בשתי מילים? מה אתה מרגיש? מה הטעם שלך על העשייה והעבודה שעשית לאורך השנים?
אוקיי.
בשתי דקות.
It's not easy to I think that it's the force that still bring me every day, and to see the way how we can create bridge with other people, not only with the people of my faith, but every humankind. And in this special time, I think that it's more and more important and more to keep on and to create, not to lose the faith that you know, a lot of people that you hear, they are completely devastated by the economic situation of the, because they are locking in their house. So we, as a spiritual leader, we want to keep on the tikva. How do you say tikva? The hope, exactly. The hope that in the after this crisis will start a new era, a new value of understanding and of goods in the world. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to say that, Roberto, I remember usually and always you opened your gates in your house, in your synagogue, in every place you were on it, to all of us, Jews, Christians, Muslims, Druze. I remember we made lots of things, and I taught in your place Arabic language, and I taught their Sufism, taught their Islamic studies in these things. It's the sign that you are a full peace man and a peacemaker. Thank you. I will pass and wait because the people, they have some questions also to Father Firas, Abouna Firas. باختصار شديد خلال عملك بس حط الانميوت، خلال عملك في هذا المجال ماذا كان ما هي الاشياء التي علقت فيك، او كيف توصف للناس هذه اللذة تبعت العمل اللي عملته في السلام؟ بس حط الصوت. تفضل. دقيقتين.
انا بفكر انه سامعيني؟
نعم.
okay. Describing my ministry is بالعربي تكرم.
إذا بدك بترجم لك.
أنا بوصف خدمة. أوكي. أنا بوصف خدمتي في الزبابدة ونابلس، وبما إنه أنا كنيسة تابعة لمطران في إسرائيل، أنا بوصفها ب building bridges. بحاول إني
I can describe my ministry in Nablus and Zababde as building bridges.
Hello, Abouna Firas. Yeah.
بحاول أبني جدران من السلام والمصالحة واللقاء مع الآخر.
I try to build bridges of reconciliation and peace with others and meeting and connecting with others.
Okay.
مش مهم الشخص اللي قبالي مين هو، هل هو مسلم أو مسيحي أو يهودي.
It doesn't matter who this other is, whether Muslim, Christian, Jew, etc.
المهم إنه فرحة اللقاء فيه، وإني أشوف في هذا الإنسان صورة الله.
What's important is the joy of meeting this other and to see the image of God in him.
فلما بطلع في الآخر وبوجهه أنا بكون مبسوط وبقول يا رب ما أجملك، لأني بشوف جمال الله في اللقاء مع الآخر.
And when I look at the other in his face, I see the beauty of God and I say, oh God, thank you, how beautiful are you, because I see it in others.
شكرا أبونا، كان يجنن حبيبي.
فهي خدمتي
حبيبي يلا اسا في كمان
فهي باختصار
يلا
خدمتي.
This is in summary my ministry.
شكرا أبونا. Sheikh Khalid, your answer please in 2 minutes. مش سامعينك حبيبي.
سأبدأ الإجابة بقصة قصيرة جدا.
تفضل.
I'll start by answering with a very short story.
القصة هي عن السيد المسيح عليه السلام.
It's about Jesus Christ, peace be upon him.
مر مع الحواريين أثناء سياحته وتجواله في الأرض المقدسة.
He was with his disciples in the Holy Land.
مر على جيفة كلب ميت.
He passed through a dead dog.
وأخذ الحواريون التلاميذ السيد المسيح يقولون ما أنتن ريحه، ما أقبح هذه الرائحة.
And his disciples were complaining so bad of the disgusting smell coming out of this dead dog.
قال لهم انظروا إلى بياض أسنانهم.
He said to them, look how white is his teeth. Or its teeth.
نعم، ما يحدث الآن في أزمة كورونا هو أمر جدا مؤلم وجدا مقلق وجدا يجعلنا نتألم، وفي بعض الأسر التي فقدت أحبائها وأعزائها.
What's happening now during this pandemic is heavily emotionally painful of how many people also who lost their loved ones and their relatives and their family members.
ولكن كما قال السيد المسيح عليه السلام تعالوا ننظر إلى الأشياء الإيجابية في هذه الأزمة.
But as Jesus Christ said, may peace be upon him, let us look into the positive things in this time.
كيف توحد العالم في مواجهة هذا الفيروس الخطير.
How the world has united to face this dangerous pandemic.
كيف أصبح احترام الأطباء والعاملين في الأبحاث العلمية أصبح احترامهم أكثر.
And the respect of those in the medical field has increased and developed higher.
إذن سنخرج، أنا متأكد أننا سنخرج من هذا الأزمة، من هذا الوباء منتصرين، وأيضا مع قوة وطاقات إيجابية كبيرة.
And I believe we will leave victorious and with very high energies from this pandemic.
نعم.
Thank you, Sheikh Khalid. I wanted to finish with this story of Jesus, but thank you for this. It's a great story. Now, really, I would like to thank all of the speakers, the peacemakers, that I worked with you for 30 years. And really, you made me very, very, very powerful today to continue. Even I began to be a little bit elder, but I think we will continue and we will not stop. We have some answers from the participants. I will ask, and anyone will answer. I will ask the second question because our time is so short. The first question is, Malcolm, ترجم حبيب الأسئلة. Okay, one. Who truly wins is the one who truly gives. Comments. Who truly, it says like this: land, love, life, learning. The one who truly wins is the one who truly gives. Comments.
عفوا وين هذا مكتوب؟
سؤال.
أيوة.
طلع شو بقول؟ land, love, life, learning. الأرض، الحياة، التعليم. Okay.
ترجمة.
The one who truly wins.
Who truly إيش؟ عفوا مش عم بسمع.
To win.
win.
Yeah.
الشخص الحقيقي بينتصر، والشخص اللي بيعطي في عنده عطاء إن كان بالأرض أو زي ما حكى الشيخ بالحب أو بكل هذه المعطيات المختلفة.
This the question. Did you understand the question? Did you understood?
مين هو الشخص اللي بينتصر؟
I will translate.
هذا هو السؤال.
أدمة، أهفا، خيم and לימודים. האם נכון שהאדם שהוא נותן, הוא מרוויח, הוא זה האדם שהוא נותן? האם האדם הוא שמרוויח הוא האדם שנותן?
هل الشخص الرابح هو الشخص المعطي؟ هذا هو السؤال.
نعم بالضبط. Who want to answer? Roberto, Khalid, Abouna, Firas, who would like? האם האדם שהוא נותן הוא מרוויח?
نعم. الإنسان الذي يعطي هو الإنسان الذي يربح.
Yes, the giver is the winner.
نعم.
تفضل.
يعني هناك من الناس كما قال جبران من يفرح بالعطاء، من يفرح عندما يعطي أكثر مما يفرح غيره عندما يأخذ.
And as Jubran said, it's a poet, the person who takes or who gives is more joyful than those who even receive.
إذن العطاء هذا شيء يجعل الإنسان إنسانا.
Giving gives us our human value and identity.
ولكن السؤال المطروح الآن آمنة ماذا أعطي؟
But the question is, what do I give?
من الناس من يعطي يعني كل شيء ولا يهتم يعني وليس عنده يعني اهتمام أو ليس عنده أي يعني يعطي دون أن يفكر، يعطي دائما، يعطي دون أن يحسب حسابا للغد.
Some type of people give everything without counting without worrying about anything. Give it all.
وأعتقد أن الإنسان الذي يؤمن بأنه إنسان وهذا هو المبدأ في حياتنا، أنه إذا توجه إلي إنسان طالبا شيئا ما أن أعطيه.
And if a person really believes in his humanity, is this person when he comes to me and asks, I should indeed give him.
Thank you, Khalid. Thank you, Khalid. And our time is eating us, but there is from a question from Rabbi Bluth, say, how can we get involved? How we can get involved? It's a very important question. Maybe I'll allow myself to answer. Sometimes many people ask us these questions. We say sometimes there's some questions without answers, and some answers without questions, and sometimes there's no answers and there's no questions, and sometimes there are questions and answers. This is the question that belong to the four categories. I think each one want to be involved. He is welcome to be involved, and we are open our gates in Palestine, in Israel, in America, in Germany, in Europe, in Canada, in any place to contact the people. I think you can move and you can give yourself to this process. To give yourself, you don't need to dive within the ocean of this work, because you can do your work, and after that you can be part of our work and to continue your life there. If you're from Israel, Rabbi, you can be in connection with Abed Manasra. He is the director of programs there. If you would like to, if you from other places, you can contact the people, and also you can contact us. You can send to Chris Miller here in USA, and we will be in connection with you. Abouna, Firas, would you like to say something?
Yes. Actually, yeah, you hear me?
Yes, yes.
My son take the olives to be pressed. So tonight we will have a new olive oil, and I'm thinking it's a pleasure to invite all of you to invite all of you tomorrow, if we can do this, or I don't know when, to have مسخن, مسخن, yeah, and with the new olive oil. So I have to follow my son, but I to press the olives, and they are waiting me down. But I would like to thank you from my heart sincerely, because your voice is hope, and your voices is giving hope for the Palestinians and for the Israelis. You are making your hands dirty to build bridges for peace and reconciliation. In this land, it has no peace because it has no justice.
Yes.
So all of you, in my prayers and in my heart, I will continue to pray for you and to remember you in my prayer to be a peacemakers, because peace need builders like you. Peace need builders like you to build bridges for peace and reconciliation between Abrahamic sons.
Yes.
So thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a great pleasure to meet you and to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you, Father.
Bye-bye.
It's great. Bye-bye. But I want to say something in the end. Listen, I think we heard from our peacemakers lots upon lots things and stories and feelings they gained from, along their life in this path. For us all, and love and the emotional side. I think we need to connect with these people and to be in connection with Abrahamic Reunion, as we did 20 years until today. I would like to say that we learned a lot from their many work. Their work was so deep, so beautiful, so soft. Even they, received lots of blaming, lots of dangers, lots of fear. I remember that during the night, I couldn't sleep. I say, that's it. I will not continue until tomorrow. They will kill me and my family. But in the morning, I saw myself renewing my work, becoming again. Because I say and I swear, this is like the doctors, like everything, they swear, I swear that I will not stop. We will not stop. We will continue in Abrahamic Reunion and different places. We need you to be with us. And if you need to get, to receive our newsletters, write info@abrahamicreunion.com. You will receive this. Chris Miller, he wrote here in the chat many things. Please read in the chat, on the chat, what Chris Miller wrote. And we would like to say that it was really a very rich meeting. I would like to thank Rabbi Roberto Arbib, this holy person. And really, I would like to thank Father Abouna Firas. He's a holy person. And also Dr. Khalid Abu Ras, he's a holy person. And Sheikh Ghassan, the Druze man, we are so sorry for him. He was in the hospital. He is very active and he always with us, but he went to the hospital in a urgent situation. We'll pray for him, God to heal him. I hope he will be okay. And also I would like to thank Malcolm for this great translation. And beyond all of the veils, you will find Chris Miller. He's a great person. He prepared everything. He doing everything, and he bring us to here. And really, we thank you, Chris, for all of this work. For Michael Macy, and also for David Less, that is the chairman of the board, and for all of our work. And wait for us. We will be with you in November the 19th. We have the women meeting. It will be very holy meeting for all of us. Then we will wait for you then. And don't forget to support Abrahamic Reunion. We need you. Support Abrahamic Reunion. We are doing lots of great things. 30 years and more we are doing. 20 years we are organized. And we will arrive to you, to any place that you need us. Just invite, just say hello, we will respond. Thank you, we love you, and wait for us for the next meeting. Salamu alaikum, shalom aleichem, peace be upon you, pace.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
And Sheikh Ghassan, we'd all like to thank you very much for leading us through this taste.
شوفي مين بيحكي معي.
Please, Michael. Yeah.
No, I'd rather listen to your granddaughter. Thanks, Sheikh Ghassan, for not only leading us and providing us with this taste of peacemaking, but for all that you and Abid and Muhammad Jamus do in the Holy Land to bring peace. And I'd also like to thank everyone who was here with us today, who participated. And I'd like, if Chris opens up the gallery again, just see all of the wonderful faces of the people who have been with us today, who I know have all committed themselves to creating peace. And having sat here and looked at all of your enlightened visages, all of your light-filled faces, it has given me such a great taste of peacemaking and of love and of joy. So thank you all of you so much for being here. And I look forward to seeing you all, as Ghassan said, in November for what will be a miraculous session with the women peacemakers. Thank you very much.